seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the ESL One Hamburg South American Qualifier games. We got Infamous Young going up against DC.SA. Third and final game after the first game was canceled. DC.SA did take game 2, and now here we are in game 3. I'm Mike Loris. Going to be joined by Kefka for this third and final game, and dude, Lich is going to get through. Talk about your fun and interactive heroes.
It's always a pleasure to see
10
Lich.
seconds remaining.
That's funny.
Most scenes have a gentleman's
5
agreement
seconds
that it's gonna
remaining.
be banned, but apparently not here. There's also the Syndrome exception, and then I don't know if there's any more who actually like to have this hero in the game. It's pretty annoying, but I think
Radiant
it's
team pick.
kind of overrated. It's kind of like,
Dire team pick.
I don't know. I don't think it's that strong, honestly. What?
That's.
Okay.
Do you see an Omni on your screen too? Is that a bug?
I mean, that's a Rubik and an Omni-Knight, I see.
Yeah.
I think it's a very severe bug.
Well, you know,
10
Lich
seconds
first
remaining.
pick, you take it if you can get it, right? Like, I would say without exception,
5
like, if
seconds
you somehow
remaining.
are able to get Lich first pick, you'll take him no matter what, and you're happy with that. You get the experience lead, whatever.
Radiant
Infamous
team
Young
back.
pulling out something. What is happening here? Pulling out something a little bit different in the Rubik and the Omni-Knight, and then DC.SA grab a Doom. We have seen a lot of SA qualifiers lately. Qualifiers around the world, really. At least for the SA region, very few Omni-Knights.
10 seconds
At
remaining.
most one, that's right now. But probably not that, like, probably
5
not two.
seconds remaining.
And we've seen very few Dooms also, so I don't know. This is just the game to do it, I guess.
I like the Doom Lich opening a lot more. I think Doom has kind of made a minor comeback as a
Dire
counter
team
to
back.
Necrophos.
hmm
However, there's no Necrophos on Infamous Young's side, you know, so it's a bit questionable there. But I do like Doom generally. And it's also very nice with Lich, because Doom's kind of only weakness in lane is armor.
10
And
seconds
Lich
remaining.
has this amazing spell that gives armor to his
5
allies.
seconds remaining.
So that makes sense. It's pretty simple, but still very effective. And
Radiant
the
team
Omni-Knight,
ban.
like, do they have? I feel like there should be something next level about the second pick Omni-Knight, but I think it's just gonna be like a offlane Omni-Knight doing what they always do, and it's never good.
It doesn't seem like there's much cheese that can be had with
10
that type of
seconds
hero. Like,
remaining.
first of all, you could always get it last pick. They have the absolute last
5
pick. So if they
seconds
really wanted to throw a curveball, Omni-Knight then would have given you time to scope out the field and would have given you the max potential value. But like, how do you actually cheese with Omni-Knight? It has to be like a two-hero off lane, right? Like, that's how you do it. Like, Omni-Knight Undying or something like that is how you would get maximum abuse out of this hero. And now with this Doom pickup, makes the Omni-Knight's life very difficult. If you do get doomed, you're pretty darn useless. And that's the case for many heroes, but Omni-Knight for sure is going to get hit pretty hard by that. Is the hero better than the Spirit Breaker and Ancient Prophet or Batrider, who are all still in the pool? I would say no, but for right now, for Infamous Young, I want to see a reason to pick up this Omni-Knight. I want to see a hero that can actually get Repel and do stuff with that Repel. Soft heroes that usually get magic immunity. If they pick up one of those heroes, pick up like a Terrorblade and try to use the Omni-Knight to kind of push early on, I can get behind that.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they have a few specific heroes in mind. Like, I mean, they could like pull a Leshrac maybe. That could be pretty cool to see. Like, I'm thinking like kind of off meta now to see if there's like any in that region that they could pull off. But we're gonna have to wait and see. I think there's like weird options
Dire
that they
team
could go
pick.
with, and they have chosen Stanking. That's a better version of a Slaughter in my opinion. So that's a slight improvement.
For sure, with an Omni-Knight especially, like the Burrow Strike into Purification combo, it's not gonna get kills, but it's a nice,
10
safe
seconds
way of
remaining.
doing quite a bit of damage, and you might get kills afterwards with the degen and the
5
slows that you
seconds
have. So
remaining.
Just a simple 1-2 stun for the infamous Young side makes it still would be a dual melee lane if these are actually going to be the lanes. Sand King is with support Rubik. If it's a support Sand King as well, not too bad as a duo. Just a lot of stun duration there. You do need the additional damage to actually get those kills, especially since with all that stun duration, there's not much damage coming out. And you're going to be facing up against pretty tanky heroes. Again, you mentioned Doom with that ice armor. Has that insane regen, of course. So DC.SA do have to watch out, at least going towards their mid lane. But getting someone like a Queen of Pain or a Puck or an Ember Spirit even, like heroes that could just leave once they get jumped, once the stun duration is up, that might make it a little bit difficult here for Infamous Young.
Yeah, wonder what DC.SA are thinking now, because you kind of want to pair the Lich and Doom, but I don't think you want to pair, you don't want to force it yet, you know. You want to keep it somewhat open, so that you maybe can pick a Morphling mid if you want, even though it's not good against, not the greatest in lane, against a strong roam, you know. They're gonna go with Earth Spirit, which is pretty good. It's super good against these defensive heroes like Omni Knight. Because you roll in on a hero, like you roll in on an anti-mage, for example, and then you stun and you roll, or in the same sequence more or less, and then you see the Omni Knight and you silence the Omni Knight. Like it's pretty easy to pull off consistently, relatively easy at least. You're not gonna succeed every time, but you're gonna do it pretty reliable. So that's very nice. One of the best heroes in that regard against heroes like Dazzle and Omni and the save heroes. So I like that pick. And a Bloodseeker with Infamous Young, which I do like. I was thinking like, can they pull like a Shadow Fiend or like a PA or like these heroes? But they're not good against Lich, which is a big issue. So Bloodseeker is the version of those heroes that is good against Lich, I guess. So it's a bit better than, and it's kind of good in lane. It can solo versus Lich Doom, I think. And you have more flexibility in your laning.
If you want to go mid, you can do that with Bloodseeker. If you want to go for that safe lane for Infamous, you can do that. And you got some pretty good options. Difficult to gank a Bloodseeker despite having an Earth Spirit. Rolling in and getting all the disables on Bloodseeker doesn't actually do a lot of damage. DC.SA though, pick up a Razor now. So it looks like they're, with this Doom, going to look to really push their advantage. You don't really want to push a super late game with a Razor. You would rather try to hit this mid-game timing where you're, in theory, more powerful than the enemies and just try to use the Razor to take down towers, take those objectives. I'm not a huge fan of Razor. I never really have been. Is he any good here? Seems like up against Bloodseeker, it's not that easy to keep that link.
I like Razor in general. I think the hero is pretty great. But I think they don't have reliable initiation right now. So they have a Doom and an Earth Spirit who kind of supposed to be initiator, I guess. Doom is kind of, he's like hard to call initiator because it depends a lot on what heroes he's playing against, and he could pick up a blink and get a centaur creep and stuff like that. But it's not like you don't have an initiation hero when you pick Doom. And Earth Spirit can initiate to an extent. But he's not like he's not a solid initiator either, like a Sand King is on Infamous Young. Then they pick the Razor, which contributes nothing when it comes to that part. So their fifth pick really has to complete this lineup, I think. They're probably looking for a carry. I'm assuming at least. I guess they could pick mid, but it should really be someone that has some form of initiation, or maybe they could go a very heavy split push hero and try and not have any. They don't need initiation. Then you kind of like play it passive and have a guy split push while you team fight, and you just wait for Infamous Young to make moves.
So you're thinking,
but I would like
an Arc Warden or a Lone Druid or something?
I mean, it would be nice if it does both. So they're gonna go TA. I guess it's kind of like that, but it's kind of similar. It can split push, but the lineup doesn't have a lot of synergy, you know. Like, what heroes are actually good with each other? Like, there is no one. They're not really good with each other in any form way.
Yeah.
Like, there's no synergy in any of the heroes, which is very unique in Dota drops, I'd say. Generally, you always have some form of a combo or something you can pull. Like, if you have Darkseer, you're always gonna have a Slaughter or a Sand King. If you have a Batrider, you either want like a follow-up damage or a global from a Silencer. like you always have some sort of combo, but here from DC.SA you have like nothing. That's actually there's no synergy at all, almost, which is very unique. So the heroes are still strong in this way. You don't need that in Dota for sure. Like it's not a requirement, but you're probably gonna have to boost your net worth on Razor and TA to make up for that.
It does seem like DC.SA are kind of going every man for themselves here, and to their credit, their lanes are actually looking pretty reasonable up against what Infamous Young have. It's hard to outlane a Lich Doom as anyone. It's hard to outlane a Razor as anyone. TA up against Bloodseeker, up against +1 hero like this guy, Juggernaut, is the pick for Infamous Young. Like, well, DC.SA should be fine almost across the board with their lanes, especially when you consider Earth Spirit and Matthew playing the Earth Spirit. He is absolutely nasty on this hero, so DC probably just looking to cause a lot of chaos, just win individually, and then at a certain point with like a Desolator on TA, try to just get those very convincing team fights going. With burst damage, with the lockdown from Doom, it is definitely looking like a pile of heroes for Infamous Young. Grabbing the Juggernaut last is going to be a hero that can still do damage, though he may be getting doomed. Certainly a hero that you can get a lot of value off of when you also have an Omni Knight with your team. Is, though, a hero that you can just static link up and then is very, very sad.
Yeah, I like Juggernaut pick somewhat, but I wonder how they're gonna lane, because I feel like the Jugger mid would be their best choice. I think any other way is bad, but it seems hard to run a Bloodseeker mid against TA, I think. So I'm hoping they'll put the Jugger mid. I'm gonna try and check items if we can see something.
This is a Bloodseeker mid, and this is a Juggernaut going top right now with
so
Omni
they
going
might be doing.
bot.
Oh, so they switched it up that much. So then it could be. I think the normal lane with a Bloodseeker mid and Jugger carry would have been bad, but
what is happening here?
Someone
messed up. They were paying a lot. At least Tekka was. He was angry about something. What?
Oh, they did this last game as well. I think they give their offlaner 2 tangos.
Yeah, Tekka has 2 tangos. Omni Knight has an extra tango. Even Juggernaut has a couple extra tangos. Who's buying all these tangos?
Yeah, I saw this last game as well. I didn't really think about it, but for some reason Course gets given tangos way more than other regions. Because usually it's only the mid who gets 2 tangos. Exclusively, it's very rare you see anything else. But here you see like half the cores, more than half the cores have tangos given to them. It's
9 shared tangos across both teams. It's so weird. But they, as I said, are going to switch it up. 2 stuns, and then, as I mentioned earlier, those 2 stuns, as powerful as they may be, lack damage. Well, Blade Fury does a lot of damage, so that is going to try to shore up this top lane. Problem is, though, it's a Razor. It's not an easy kill, even when you do land the 2 stuns. He is typically going to be slightly faster, especially once he gets this unstable current, just a handful of levels of that, or just boots. So it is going to be a tough hero to try to kill off, as for DC, they are going to switch things up a little bit. Attune, again, usually going towards mid. It's going to be HFN the TA, grabbing the reins there up against the Bloodseeker. Definitely the right move to put TA here, and it's just HFN's better on the TA than on the than Attune is. But this Bloodseeker is not going to have all that great a time. Cut short in the level department, and really doesn't have any way of returning fire versus a Templar Assassin. And if his allies are going to come in for a gank, it's going to be so obvious once Zanking and Rubik actually leave this lane.
Yeah, so I think it comes down to Infamous Young's support movement to decide this early game. It seems kind of good now. They're forcing rotations already. This is great for them. Lich is kind of unsure what to do, and Razor has 0 losses. I think they're doing good right now. They're really committing for this Razor. This seems that.
Well, Static Link not even going to break the roll in. What the hell happened? He just teleported across my screen, but still with Tekka here, we'll just walk him down, slowly roasting him, and get first blood. And now Razor's going to jump down to the bottom lane, where he's going to have an incredible matchup against the Omni Knight. Can the Doom survive this stun? Okay, can the Doom survive this stun call? I'm not really sure. He sells the second Quelling Blade. with the Scorched Earth available, he certainly has a chance, but we're going to have some musical lanes. Dominic already on this bottom lane, and now Benja is going to arrive, and they've actually kept the Omnet here for a little bit as well. Degen Aura is up, but he's not interested in this. How many times are we going to have these lane swaps, and where are they actually going to land? Nobody knows.
Yeah, this could be the big thing for Bloodseeker though, that like lanes are swapped, everyone's low, you can't play regen because people are tipping from lane to lane. Could end up being really good for Bloodseeker when he's like level 5, he has 2 levels in first and people are low and he's gonna just hunt people down in mid lane. Other than that, I think this is probably favoring DC.SA for now. I think Razor down here is actually kind of better than on the safe lane. However, he has no supportive cost here, so if Sand didn't go for this bounty, Razor would be dead.
Oh, they almost spill shot to kill the courier. I actually didn't even know you can do that. I'm not a good TA, clearly. But they almost get it done. They either way drive the Bloodseeker away, and because the way Bloodseeker's sustain works, he can't afford to stay in this lane any longer. But again, TA and Lich just manhandling that mid lane, and they're actually going to find the Omni Knight up towards top with the roll and a kick. They'll try to get in front, but Matthew will fail to block. Another Infernal Blade won't quite do it. It's going to be just short 30 HP. We'll have to fall back, and I mean, that lane is going okay for the Doom. He has Devour, he'll get gold. The TA is doing fine as well, but a huge 2 CS for Attune is, let's say, less than ideal. He has to deal with 3 heroes that are sitting behind his tier 1. What is any hero supposed to do about this?
He's hoping they will go on him, I guess, right now. Lich is level 3. Razor still feels pretty funny to see. I don't think Benjas will take much damage now. Just a little bit, but really weird lanes. I think that DCSA wants to avoid having a situation where there's kind of a try versus try, because it usually benefits the Bloodseeker a lot, because people will get low generally then, and the top lane is actually Omni Knight hunting. I picked up boots on Doom now, so he should be able to get out of there. Yeah,
just inherently Omni Knight versus just one other hero, you typically tend to get in a position where you're able to bully the enemy hero out. Just any damage that is dealt to you will immediately be dealt back. But now another one. He's going to get rolled in on over in the mid lane. Puts down the circle. HFN actually misses the meld strike up the hill. And now maybe he's going to try to give him a juke around. Another kick. That'll flatten him. That'll give DC their second kill of the game. That was so close to being an escape. You can see the health bars for DC.SA all rather healthy, which means the Bloodseeker is moving rather slowly.
And they're not... The Razor is not getting a lot, but the Razor is just standing here, and the supports are not making any plays right now from Infamous Young. And is Bloodseeker gonna die again? I think he's dead actually. There's still a DDNR spirit. That should be enough. Yeah, this is a total disaster right now.
Wu's arrival is going to do a 100% nothing, except for reveal the fact that, hey, there's no Rubik in this bottom lane anymore, and now Attune can mess up his static link, but actually get some CS and know that there's a very low chance he's actually going to be punished here. TA doing well. HFN's TA in particular, we have seen him just carry games by himself on this hero. So, you know, you got to watch out. You got to pay this guy a little bit of respect, but the lack of Razor on the team, and the fact that, well, first of all, TA is going to get lifted up. She's going to run the other way to dodge the Blood Right and dodge the Sand King. But now, how is she going to get out? By walking, apparently. They're not going to chase her. No Razor means no Razor early game means that you might have Razor at all. Like, this hero needs to do well in the early game to have any impact at all. And this is one of the slowest starts I've ever seen on this hero.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how we try to recover. Like, you could get a Midas maybe to try and make some form of recovery, stuff like that. There's item drops going on as well. Omnia's like trying to punish them for. There's no way, right? No. I feel like these goals are weird. There's a stomp on Doom. There's no one TPing though. I wonder if they can bait Omni.
It's not enough. Scorched Earth regen is a little bit too much. They may purify him, but that won't even kill. Tekka can actually turn around and start right clicking, and the Omni Knight.
Oh yes, heal in 2 seconds.
Oh, it's not gonna be good enough.
Oh my god.
Jebaited. And over in the mid lane in the meantime, HFN maybe also gotten jebaited. They burrow strike and they do land the silence on the Templar Assassin. She does have meld, but that's up against the Bloodseeker, so it's not going to be incredible. She will slip out of there, and look at this value shrine. Oh man, feels good. Everyone's going to be back up to near full or just full. 4-0 now for DC, and as chaotic as these lanes have been, the Rock is this TA. She's not moving, and of course the Lich is also getting them quite a nice experience lead wherever he goes. This is going pretty well for DC. If they can keep this pressure up and also get this Razor involved, then they're really cooking with gas.
And there's a huge stack here for TA. They already managed to stack it 3 times. This is looking rough for Infamous Young in these early stages. Also think that they really needed a good early game. So if TA can just clear this stack for free, I think the game is gonna hit super hard for Infamous Young.
Well, Kill Rat's feeling pretty good up on top lane until this. He gets hit with a shockwave, kicked silence. They can't insta-kill him before he gets a spell off. Purification and Repel both up. Repel doesn't have a lot of duration, but still will be enough just with that Purified to get him out of there. Still CS-wise is leading the Doom, but is still behind in net worth, mostly just creep cutting and doing shenanigans with this Omni Knight. Where is Razor? He is off lane, jungling, I suppose. They do get the tower denied up on top, and now with the Doom and his ultimate, they can kill Rats as long as they have Scorched Earth, which actually they don't.
Yeah, he's going drums first on Doom. If he had face there, they would have killed Omni, because he could have ran through creeps and just Inferno Blade, and I'm pretty sure Omni would have died. But this is actually what I do when I play Doom. I just go Brown Boots, and then I go drums. I don't go face. It's pretty funny to see my own build being bad.
The level 3 spin for the Razor. He's been doing a pretty good job so far of avoiding conflict.
Big kill. That's a super important kill.
Can't avoid it forever. And King RD still on his bottom lane. Still will grab a little bit of extra experience out of this lane. Still with this ice armor makes this push very slow, but it does seem like Attune is just going to be a non-factor right now. There's no real way for you to adapt your build as Razor to kind of be a little bit more of a supporty hero. I guess you can go for like a Medallion Solar Crest type of item build for the Razor. It's not ideal, but I mean, he doesn't have a lot of gold. He doesn't really have many options.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep an eye on what he does, but I don't think it matters that much, because the TA is getting so farmed that like he can carry Razor and do more than do even more than that, because he is super farmed right now. He cleared that quad stack, and I think there's a double stack as well, a triple stack actually. Yeah, so he could get. This is a kind of YOLO contest right now. They're trying to catch the TA while he goes for Ancient. And if they get that kill, that's a lot of gold that TA might lose. Oh, Bloodseeker broke the smoke.
He's gonna walk right in, but the Rupture goes on to King RD instead. It seems like they haven't noticed HFN. They wander the wrong way. Now the Doom goes out onto the Bloodseeker with the Scorched Earth. They'll just run him down. That was Infamous Young a little bit confused as to what the hell was going on, what angles the heroes were coming from. Now chasing after Wu. Only has a level 3 Fade Bolt, and they'll try to give the kill to HFN. And with that much face damage, it's not going to be that hard. Double kill for the Templar Assassin. But perhaps more importantly, TA stays alive and the Ancient stack is still preserved. So she can crack into that soon. Probably once she gets this Desolator, which is going to be up in mere seconds.
Or if they just chilled on high ground here with, instead of going to the shrine, they would have killed the TA. And that would have been the minor comeback they really needed. But now it's gonna be a bit harder. The Bloodseeker is struggling a lot. He needs to recover more than the Razor, more or less. Razor can trust his teammates to do his work, while Bloodseeker needed to have more impact than he's currently having. Will he die again? I don't think Templar does that much damage.
They do both get kicked. The Earth Spirit kicked the boulder that was behind him. Doesn't make sense, but you know what? Whatever. HFN on the run is ruptured. Does have just enough mana for a meld. That's pretty much it. So he's got to run away from the Sand King, who misses the Burrow Strike. Oh no! That means the Purification is also going to do very little. And now the Chain Frost going to bounce through. They kick the Omni, prevent the Repel with the Sentries drop. They'll also seal the deal on the SK. Oh, it's a massacre in favor of DC. Only one kill for Infamous this entire game, but you can't really top value in Chain Frost there. And the Earth Spirit timings, again, absolutely perfect. Omni Slash will be used on the bottom lane. Benyaz may get this kill, but no, it's not even going to be getting him killed. Now it's going to get him killed. as the Desolator on HFN shows up. Well worth the Lich trade, that's for damn sure. 210 and DC are getting some serious momentum, not even yet into this Ancient stack. This is going to be a dirty game.
Oh, if this stacks.
It is.
Oh my god. That's another 300 gold that you just get for free. He's not gonna have the blink just yet with this stack, but it's gonna be like, I guess it's gonna be a decent amount away, but he can't really roach either. TA isn't roach has been buffed a shit ton, so you don't just roach with a vessel straight up. Like, it's not super easy like it used to be. So at least Infamous Young will have a bit more time before some kind of death push will happen with a TA. Doom is going Medallion and into a Solar, so that's gonna be the timing they're gonna look for, I think at least. Razor, has he progressed anything? He's doing okay, I guess. He's slowly getting up there. He's not falling behind too much, you know. That's what matters, I think.
Maybe we're gonna see maybe we're gonna see his like Vipe build from last game, except on Razor, like Mechanism and just supporty, tanky items, 4 stabs and whatnot. Wu is gonna be spotted. Rolls not quite gonna connect, but they'll land the stun. And oh my god, TA burst damage always amuses me, always baffles me, just how much it actually does. Because, you know, the meld and the Desolator minus armor gets applied before the hit lands, so you do get full amplification. Benyaz does not have an Omni Slash. He's chasing in anyway, so is Kill Rats. Gotta be careful though, because here comes the Doom, and the Chain Frost will bounce up to the Ancients. They'll see the Sand King channeling up that Epicenter, which will do a grand total of, well, a little bit of damage as he does get on top of that Doom, who's forced to stand still thanks to that Rupture, but the Juggernaut has been left alone. Will be very quickly dealt with. Is now attuned, pushing forward. 42 damage stolen. They won't be able to do any more damage. Guardian Angel, hard counter up against the Razor and the TA. Burst Strike onto 2. Purification there as well as Templar Assassin now very low. Will start to turn around. Fight to her death, but she will very quickly die. Kick will get attuned. A little bit of extra safety. There's no Shrine here. She'll try to deny himself against the Prowlers and will make it happen. And DC, they do lose a couple of heroes. Finally, for Infamous Young, they do get it, but it's going to cost them a buyback on the Omni Knight. Was far from elegant, but still, taking down TA, taking down this Razor, well worth it.
Definitely well worth it. Like I talked about, like, at least the Infamous Young won't have to worry about the death push with their Aegis, but DC.SA still force it. And it takes too much time, and they got a good fight, but it doesn't matter, because Infamous Young had this nice buyback. Sand King got the double stun and the purification after that, and then Bloodseeker gets enough first so he can just hunt people down. And unfortunately for him, he didn't pick up the Razor as well, who managed to deny. But also, that's like a minor throw, you know. You don't need to go for that play. There's no reason at that point. You can just wait for the Medallion on Doom, and then you're gonna be really good. Who also got the Ice Armor, so they have 2 Ice Armors. So Jagger should definitely get a Biff Blade this game, which he doesn't seem to be going for right now.
That is a hell of a lot of tankability. This Ice Armor can't be applied to the towers, because Ice Frog is reasonable. They're still going to go for this push. Lich is somewhere. With the Chain Frost available, he is going to come in. Start to give that additional armor bump to the tower, but the Rupture goes out onto Tekka. I don't think he can get out of the Silent Circle, so he's going to take full damage. In fact, he's just going to make a break for it. With the Scorched Earth regen, I don't think he's going to live here. He's going to try to run a little bit further away. He does turn around for an Infernal Blade. This would be a perfect time for a TA and Razor to come in on this tier 1 and start causing some havoc, but they're busy on bottom lane, taking down a tier 1 of their own, already dropped by HFN. They do lose the Doom here, but they could still actually make a play. A couple of stalls, a couple of Novas, a kick perhaps. The fact that this tower is Ice Armor taking very little damage means that the Doom might actually just be able to respawn and come in with his ultimate and still make this fight happen. Matthews rolling in now, gonna catch Benyaz with the stun and the damage. HFN misses up the high ground, and now the turnaround onto Matthew, and with the Epicenter onto HFN as well. Definitely needs the help. Chain Frost is that help that he needs, but it's gonna bounce up to the creep wave. Now gonna start fighting with the spills. Benyaz gonna jump onto the high ground accidentally with the Omni Slash. Healing Ward or not, he should be going down here. But more importantly, HFN has survived Benyaz on the way out, as King Tekka also going to chase after this Omni Knight with a tune hot on his heels as well. The Omni Knight may grab a bounty rune. That's something for you, but he will go down in the end. HFN lives. It costs them Matthew, but they hold the tower and get a ton of gold, including a tower of their own in the mid lane. And maybe even bottom lane is already. We have a tune there. They could slide down and maybe get 2? No, probably not.
the Lich ultimate did most of the work in that team fight. It was a pretty good fight for Infamous Young. They could have settled with the Earth Spirit though.
Oh, Sand King. Bro.
He did. This is somewhat reminiscent of Lost King.
Yeah.
That play especially.
Same guy playing Slardar.
Yeah.
Like you have stun, you have initiation power. With the Blink Dagger Sand King, it's really powerful, but it's not quite good enough. And now the rest of the team gets banned. Again, a miss at the high ground with a meld. How unlucky is HFN? That's like 3 this game. Was that a meld hit? Either way, it was a missed hit. Didn't do any damage. They will be forced to back out there. Roshan still being contested for Infamous Young, and that's quite nice. They don't have to worry about the towers being severely pushed, but still they're bleeding out heroes. It's not a good spot for them to be in.
Yeah, oh, he changed his build to Manta. This is good. I saw Ben just had Sunshine Yasha queued up. I think that would have been a really terrible choice because I think you want Manta deep blade here. I think maybe you will go deep blade next. I would have preferred maybe. I'm not certain though. And Bloodseed is gonna go Radiance, which I do like. I think is very good against this kind of weird ice armor thingy that's going on from DC.SA. I think it kind of ignores all of that stuff. And I saw Rubik stole the ice armor from Lich actually. That's a pretty big play if he can keep doing it. It's one of the more valuable steals with Doom and I guess Lich ulti.
Here's the problem though. TA is up on top lane. They know she's up here.
Oh,
and they see the fact that she has no mana because she used that refraction to take down the tower. She's gonna fight her way out. Do quite a bit of damage, admittedly. Not bad, but still can't get any kills and will be easily picked off. For the tier 1 tower, that is not worth it for the DC.SA squad. So HFN, perhaps feeling himself just a little bit too much, is still filthy rich now with Blink Dagger and Dragonlance. He's leading net worth by a huge margin. That of course means she's just more.
Oh, Invis on Doom. That's such a lucky rune to get.
10 seconds till
There is
Doom.
not a fine active.
Full stun, not gonna happen.
Oh, Doom will cancel it. Oh, he had cooldown, but Benyas didn't know.
The mind games. Benyas is gonna drop now.
Oh my god. He had the exact cooldown that the TP would take.
That sucks so much.
Because he's like, oh my god, he has Doom. I need to cancel my TP. Like, that's his fault for it. Because he's a good player. Because that's what a good player would do. Like they would instantly realize that they have to cancel the TP to get out.
One of the rare scenarios where if he was worse, if he was a noob, he would have survived.
Yeah.
Maybe. It was a close one.
If it was even better, he would know the timing exactly, you know? So, you know, you can
He's
take
in that sweet spot, the only spot where he dies. That's his exact skill level.
Oh, so unfortunate. It was such a reaction play, you know? Another boss. Like,
So,
he's insta spins as soon as he saw Earthblade and he gets out. And
they lose the Roshan. And Sand King has a Burrow Strike out, but HFN will not let you leave. Gets the kill. Tower in deny range now. DC may just want to keep that one up, just to try to bait Infamous Young into more fights. But now with this Aegis, get a handful more kills. What do you do here as Infamous Young? They have Rupture. They have GA, which is still an all-powerful counter up against what DC.SA are bringing to the table. Right now, it's just Razor going for an SNY. Doesn't seem like there are going to be many answers here to the GA, except for a preemptive initiation from the Earth Spirit of Doom.
Infamous Young's plan is just to farm. I think that's definitely the way to go this game. DC.SA has this weird lineup where it's kind of only a TA, but TAs I hear that can die pretty easily a lot of the times, especially when there's no kind of save. You know, you get a epicenter stun and he's gonna lose half a stage point just that, and then Rupture on him and he can't do anything in the fight. He just have to hope that his teammate will win it at that point. So, and I do think that Infamous Young are farming at a pretty good speed. We saw Midas on Omni Knight, and the Radiance is almost up. It's super close actually, and it's not too bad of a timing either. So I think they're getting back into this game slowly. We're gonna see if DC.SA can make a play with this Aegis though that could put them back in a really good position.
It's gonna be difficult to get that preemptive initiation since Doom doesn't have a Blink Dagger, no Invis rune again. They will have an opportunity though as Benja is up top. is really far away from cover with no TP, but it doesn't seem like DC side really know about this just yet. So he's going to chill in the trees and should be just fine to get out of there. Yeah, this Radiance on the Bloodseeker is going to be absolutely killer. Mischance already we see is a problem for TA, just rolling unlucky as she tries to shoot things up on high ground. Even worse now with the Radiance blind, plus the fact that it grinds through her refraction armor really, really quickly. Yeah, the Bloodseeker's getting pretty fat. Of course, they have to limit their losses, make sure that they don't feed over too many kills. I'm talking to you, Sand King, as the smoke is going to be blown on Tekka. It looks like they just want to go for this tower. Try to leverage this Aegis. Roll in from Matthew. Get the silence, get the stun. One shot, two shot. Can't really blame the Sand King for that one. That just kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate for him. The T is getting Orchid, which I think this could be a huge mistake. We're gonna see because the Greaves is gonna come up much faster than he expects, I think, on the Omni. But this push is hard to stop. I don't know the Aegis timer exact, but that could also be a risk in itself to push like this, because it's getting close to 5 minutes now.
Not a lot of sustain here, just an urn from the Earth Spirit. Of course, like Doom can sustain himself, but everyone else, what you see is what you get. So taking that large chunk of damage on the TA should prompt them to make a retreat, Aegis or not. I mean, you're almost at an Orchid, so that's definitely an item worth waiting for. An additional silence on someone like an Omni Knight or a Juggernaut, that is incredible value. His Jug is almost at that match style, but not quite yet. HFN the only one presenting, and you really don't want to go for this TA. First, TA will blink into all of them though, is going to force her hand, and that's going to be the first life. Where's the backup? Backup.
They're pretty far out.
Silence is up, and he will have Refraction blink soon. Rupture is there. Can't quite get the blink out. Here comes the Epicenter. No Burrow Strike just yet though. Finally will be cast, but everyone else is being driven back to the south as they're going to converge on the Juggernaut and take him down in an instant. HFN may die here. Chain Frost may fail. They're ready to take on the Juggernaut in a 1-for-1 trade, and they still have a lot of health to work with DC.SA. They're going to try to go for this Bloodseeker, but the Shrine is active, and that'll be able to let them turn around onto Tekka. And they're still trying to go in on this. The Razor has stolen 150 damage. He's going to do some serious deeps here, killing off one. Looking for another. Purification, though, will drive him away. Force Staff is not going to get him enough safety here. Dragons, as the Toon gets back to the high ground. Another Static Link. He tries to kill Rats, but the circle around from the Rubik and the Sand King will kill off a third. Infamous are going to lose all their big damage dealers, but again, they take down the TA and the Razor and the Doom. That's close to a damn perfect fight for them.
Infamous Young did lose course, but they are so happy with that fight. I think that, especially if their supports get farmed this game, that's going to carry them a long way. We saw last game where their supports were struggling a ton, and I would say it cost them last game that Slardar was so underfarmed. But this game Sanking is looking strong in network, and he's gonna keep that up, especially now when he's gonna get a 3 minute to farm. And they are getting their core items, especially Omni Knight with Greaves could be a huge deal this game. Manta is almost up on Jugger, so like all this Orchid, which he picked up before last fight, could just backfire where everyone who he wants to Orchid and kill can remove the Orchid, which is scary for a TA to jump in and Orchid someone, then like, oh, they removed it, I'm gonna die now.
He's eventually gonna give him some true strike up against this Radiance of the Bloodseeker. And once it's a Bloodthorn, it's not there just yet though, and he's gonna find a hero that can't protect himself, but he will get
that's a good counter.
repelled by the Omni Knight, and they again got baited a little bit too hard. HFN is bleeding. He's gonna go down. That roll-in was pretty aggressive there from DC. They didn't have a lot of vision in the area. Again, giving away their TA, and they have all their eggs in this TA basket. Like Doom and Razor, they're not doing terribly necessarily, but for sure they have nowhere close to the value that the TA has right now. So it does seem like Infamous are getting a couple of freebies here, as they are able to take down TA twice in as many minutes.
Yeah, this is not good at all. The TA has lost all the momentum now. And Benyas is doing some weird baiting now, and it's gonna turn out to be amazing actually, it seems like.
Oh, Chain Frost is not enough mana for the Lich actually. He can't get it off, and now the Doom, silence in the middle of everyone, is gonna die as well.
Oh, he stole Doom, that's what happened. I was so confused. The Rubik had Doom.
Okay.
But he's had that for quite some time, but he threw it out before he loses it. Can they high ground with this? Is that happening now? That would be insane if they just
has
No, they want to farm. I think that's probably the safer and better play.
Benyad's gonna jump back to the bottom lane. He'll be just fine to shove that one out. The Bloodseeker has Radiance, and we do have a Maelstrom being built by the Juggernaut, so farm rate will be coming up huge here for the infamous Young side. And you also got to look at the Sand King's farm, and of course the Omni Knight's farm as well, but as you mentioned, Sand King actually able to farm creeps, whereas Slardar never really is able to do that, so he's going to go for a Yule Scepter next. And we got Omni Knight, what is he looking at? Guardian Greaves, another anti-Orcish tool for himself, not to mention the extra sustain, and I guess frees him up an item slot on top of that, so this is a lot of items coming up on the infamous side. And DC, I mean, yeah, they have the Orc on the TA, but we've already mentioned how that's going to be rather ineffective. The other two heroes, Razor, he has a Lincoln Sphere in the works, not done yet, and Doom has just a health booster. These items in Infamous, I mean, they may be still behind in net worth, but it does seem like their items for right now are actually giving them slightly more value.
So TA is still #1 in net worth by quite a lot, but I feel like when TA gets to this situation where they've lost momentum, the game becomes so hard and they almost always lose. That's how TA works to an extent. So I'm thinking that's gonna happen, and they need to play on TA's timings now. I don't think you can just go. I think you time the BKB, you try and maybe get a nice Roche. You can sneak Roche at this point, I think. Stuff like that. I don't think you go for these plays that you've done before, like team fight 5 versus 5. I don't think you're gonna win those anymore. You need to go for BKB timings and maybe a nice smoke pickoff, even though you have poor pickoff, or a Roche. Those three are like the main plays they can do right now, I think, because Infamous Young are stronger in my opinion right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe not up against a double damage TA. That might just be the edge that DC need if they're able to find someone, but of course, we already mentioned Infamous Young. Their plan right now is just sit back and get a little bit more farm on their heroes and try to out-farm this Raider, try to outlast this hero, who has recovered pretty well, pretty admirably, all things considered, but still is struggling to get farm, as that's just not something that Razor is able to do well in Dota. He is not farm well. You gotta go aggressive early on, you gotta get those kills, and if you have any interest in staying in this game, it almost seems like DC, they do have to keep up this pressure, but really we're running into a little bit of a brick wall here. Doom also, I think, is a little bit of an issue here. Like, the fact that he's gone for this super tanky build is nice for him, but it means that in order to initiate, you gotta lean on this Earth Spirit, and your Doom is gonna be much harder to cast on the heroes that matter, since you have no Shadow Blade, you don't have a Blink Dagger, you have to wander in slowly. I guess as slowly as Scorched Earth Phase Boots and Drums will allow him, but he really will be lacking options, at least to start the fight. Then Matthew, Earth Spirit, is going to get Burst Struck along with the Razor 2-man stun. Follow-up, they will lift up the Earth Spirit, keep him in the Silent Circle. Damage isn't quite enough, although he will bump into the Sand King on his way out. He still is essentially out of this fight as they bleed out HFN up towards top. He's going to pop the BKB and just turn around versus the Bloodseeker. The damage is huge, prompting out the GA. That is not how they wanted to use that GA, nor is it how they wanted to use that Rupture. So TA shows off how much damage she could actually do, but right now Infamous Young are at full HP, healing ward on Jug, sustain from the Omni Knight, Bloodseeker sustain. They can continue this fight if they find an opening, but it's probably going to be them retreating.
I don't think that's a big issue for Infamous Young though. They traded Rupture and Guardian Angel for a BKB on TA, and it seems a bit weird to say, but I think that's an okay trade because Rupture is up in 14 seconds, and I think the BKB is about as important as Guardian Angel, depending on the initiation they get off.
Bro strike onto 0 heroes, fresh Lincoln Sphere, as the Sand King is going to get kicked out by Matthew. A rare misplay from this Earth Spirit player. They do have another Rupture right now, but the only heroes presenting on the front, Razor with that Lincoln Sphere, so you don't really want to take that risk. Again, no one's going to die here, but
Shrine. I do not like that play. He has Tranquils, he gets 1 heal from Omni Knight, and he's full HP in about 10 seconds. Instead he uses a Shrine, which is like the biggest advantage you have here, because the opponent already used the Shrine.
Oh, he's in a prime spot though. Position-wise, he's actually spotted. I was on the high ground. Bloodright is going to go down. Roshan, of course, the thing that everyone's fighting over. And, well, everyone is going to back off once again. Illusions will give them quite a bit of vision, Infamous Young. And with DC, this is really where they would wish they had some other initiator besides just this Earth Spirit. They will kick the Juggernaut off to the side, land the Doom on him. Didn't actually get anything done here. Chain Frost is bouncing through, will fizzle pretty rapidly, but the Juggernaut has no damage whatsoever. They can actually ignore him completely. Dominic in the Roche Pit is going to get his Epicenter off just barely. Will do a little bit of damage, but the BKB is up on the TA, so she'll absorb most of it, but in the Silent Circle, will fall in the end as Bloodseeker is going to return so fast, so much damage with the Radiance. Looking for another. He's going to try to go for the Doom, but he's not actually healing himself. He didn't have Blood Rage on. Oh no, and now the Razor's starting to strike people down with the Lightning. Will actually clean house. That's a full wipe as DC only lose 2. Oh, I mean, everyone's so weak, but Blood Rage, man. Blood Rage wasn't on.
He didn't have it on when he killed the Doom, but then he put it on himself when he died, so he killed the Razor, so Razor managed to survive thanks to it. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure, maybe he had sticks or something, but that was... The Doom out on Jagger was huge. It was so close, because they had this high ground ward that managed to spot him, I think. Maybe it wasn't there actually, maybe he was just barely on the, like, not the high ground, so to say. But they only managed to claim a tower from that entire fight, so there was not something big. It was just a minor victory for DC.SA, I'd say. I think the TA dying early is still like a big factor, and which makes it okay for Infamous Young, I think. And the game state didn't change that much, except that DC.SA maybe got like 2k gold extra compared to Infamous Young, but that could change pretty quick.
Gone, still that objective, and DC, they gotta get their asses in here and get back to this mid lane. Razor does have a TP, and with wards dying over in this Roche Pit, DC.SA will know that there are heroes in the area and will know that it is once again game time. There's an Epicenter here for the Sand King. Doom is not available. Quick blink out as he's just wasting time right now. As another one of Benjaz going straight for that Roche. Blood Rage on him, doing quite a bit of damage. Atune gonna wander on him with the Lincoln Spear, looking for a steal, looking for something. We'll get nothing. Instead, he gets a full Omni Slash straight to the dome. Will do quite a bit of damage, but only about half. Where is HFN? He's gonna pop the BKB, just start challenging this Bloodseeker 1v1. He does have a cheese. No stun's gonna cancel that, but still so much damage. Now the GA falls though, and now HFN will do absolutely no damage. He tries desperately to kill off the Bloodseeker. Gonna get a full restore after that kill. With the Blood Rage still on, he's gonna get another one. Double. Gotta go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog is looking now for Tekka. Damage-wise, Bloodseeker does have that Radiance. I don't think he can get out of the Silent Circle, so that's gonna hit pretty hard as well. That should be another, yes, triple kill for another one. They still preserve the Aegis, and now it's going to be a high ground push as Doom does not have buyback. He does have an ultimate, but he's just out for 40 seconds. This might just be tier 3. This might just be racks for free here, although Sand King in the middle of nowhere is going to get stunned. Force Staff out from Wu. HFN's going to jump right in, but can't quite seal the deal here on the Sand King. Now it's a free blink out. The rest of the heroes now going in for the tier 3. They force out the buyback already. Oh, nice Burrow Strike onto 2 heroes. Blinkster blocking the 3rd. Bloodright again on the deck, as the Bloodseeker now just charging in wild, looking for HFN and style to get himself a little bit of safety here.
Bloodseeker, maybe you can calm down a bit.
Bloodseeker is actually all alone. His allies have left him. Rolled in on and kicked backwards. Now the Doom finally able to cast his ultimate. Did he buy back? He did. He is going to, I think, guarantee the team this Omni Knight kill. As everyone else for Infamous Young, they've backed off. Benyaz is long gone. That is going to be a handful of buybacks spent there by DC. But they do hold their racks.
Yeah, also an okay-ish hold. I think the tower going down is a big deal though, because both Bloodseeker and Juggernaut have Manta. So getting shrines are pretty easy. You can just kind of have one hero on either side, and you just send Mantas every now and then, and those are gonna die relatively quick. And DC.SA can't really get anything out of these kills, so huge victory still for Infamous Young. I do think that death from Bloodseeker was quite unnecessary. I don't think you should dive like that when the one with the Aegis is the Juggernaut. But TA is having issues this game now. This Orchid does not seem like the right choice. I should probably do something else. Dragonlance is kind of like dead weight as well.
Epicenter from Sand King. He blinks in front of the rolling Earth Spirit. Gets a full Epicenter off on him, and with the Rubik coming in, they should have this kill, and they will.
He's got actual stacking actually with that. If he decides to pick it up, are they gonna push his dead for 50? They're looking diagram with that kill. He has buyback though, so that's scary. The Doom is 50-second cooldown. That spell has way too long cooldown, honestly. That spell is so long. That DD. What? Are you serious? Can you get more lucky, please?
And Blood Rage. Ice armor? Is there ice armor on this Rax? I don't see any additional armor here. It's dropping pretty quick. Easily taken down. Still 17 seconds left for the Earth Spirit. Scorched Earth now stolen by the Rubik. Additional sustain for him as the rest of the team will back off. Safe and sound. Pinging out the shrines now, and it's going to be a free gain for Infamous Young. And now we have the items finally being picked up. Aghanim Scepter on Sand King has been really good with his angles as far as landing that Burrow Strike. DC will grab a Core Staff on the Earth Spirit as well, but we have more items coming up. Bloodseeker, he has to have something, right? What's this Ogre Club doing? Doing nothing, as he's going to just go for the Butterfly instead, but the Jug, still with the Aegis, are going to feign a retreat and then ping out for top lane.
He did the same thing, because he was the Timbersaw, right? I think that's
the Bloodseeker? Yeah.
No, yeah, he did the same thing when he played the Timber. He just picked up the random intelligence stuff and just tied it in and bought something else with the money. That's pretty funny. He does it the same here.
Well, Halberd on Bloodseeker would have been decent, I guess.
Yeah.
Butterfly's good too. Just go for that damage. You do have to watch out as Bloodseeker. Like, you do want to have Blood Rage on yourself when you're getting those kills, but you do take a lot of damage during that time, so going for too much damage and not enough survivability, you do have to kind of hit a little bit of a balance there, but still it does seem like he's achieving it for right now. And for DC.SA, what they have going on in their heroes, Bloodthorn on TA, I think we've already kind of beaten that to death. Razor struggling to get his farm. What does Doom have? He does have a Crimson, which isn't bad at all, but I still think the concern is that no one can actually deal with this GA. Once it goes up, everyone in Infamous is going to stay invulnerable. They will find the Sand King, though. In the middle of nowhere, Silence and Force Staff out. I think the Bloodthorn is going to do just enough damage. They'll actually waste the Magnetize on him as well, but they'll also catch Wu, making it a twofer.
Traded. So Earthquake got 2 gems. That one ward just made a minor comeback into this game. The itemization has decided a lot this game. I think Infamous Young's itemization has kind of put them in this good position, but now it's starting to get to a point where your 6 slot, you still want like Bloodthorn in your TA 6 slot, so you just kind of maybe should have gone a different order. But now that you're getting to late game, it doesn't matter what order you went in, because you still will have those 6 items that you want. And no gem on Infamous Young now. I think they should buy a new one if they can. Omni-Knight is not sure how he's gonna progress. He's going Lotus now, but maybe should get something different. Bloodseeker is close to the Butterfly. That's the like big spike in his in the hero's power. And Benjas has also very nice items, I think. Manta, Mjolnir. I think like Mjolnir and Diffblade both counters the ice armor, but in different ways. And I don't dislike the Mjolnir at all.
It is the best item in the game, so there's no reason to not get it. And of course, he's going to be building up a Lincoln Spear next, trying to address that Doom problem that we saw in the fight on the Radiant River earlier in this game. For that reason, it's also a pretty good argument for this Lotus on the Omni Knight. Being able to purge off these random slew of slows and stuff from DC already makes the item pretty nice value, but the potential value of being able to reflect some of these spells, oh baby, like you're talking about reflecting Chain Frost, reflecting a Doom. That's some heavy hitting stuff there if the Echo Shell lands properly. So it's still going to be quite a ways away from it. Again, Omni Knight, even having Hand of Midas, isn't exactly known for killing off creeps, so we'll have to survive an engagement. But it does seem like Infamous Young on this bottom lane now, they have this Butterfly picked up, looking for a tier 2 tower here, and he's kind of hoping that DC don't want to defend it. I'm not sure if it's worth DC's time, honestly.
They're just gonna get the free shrine, seems like, at least. So
So
talents become very interesting now. I don't think there's gonna be a clash there. So Doom's talents are great, 20 and 25 are amazing. That's kind of like what makes the items is going even better.
Sanking. He's gonna use Burrow Strike in. Still has
like there's no way you defend it. Yeah. Bloodseeker 25 is insane as well. The Blood Rite cooldown is absolutely ridiculous. TAs isn't that good this game. I'd say. Does he even go refraction? I've never seen anyone not go refraction, but I feel like this game maybe you skip refraction and go meld armor reduction. I'm not sure.
At least in this game, there's an argument that can be made for either one. He's gonna go for, again, probably the more common TA build. Although I do think meld armor would have been pretty sick here. Maybe not up against like GA, like that X factor of just, hey, all my team's immune.
I feel like everyone goes for fraction, so it's a big incentive that you do it as well. Like you're not sure what power the meld armor has, so you kind of like, I don't wanna go the weird talent in a 42-minute game where we kind of threw this game, blah blah blah, you know.
Gotta be safe, stick with what you know works well, with very few exceptions. I mean, yeah, there's a Radiance on the Bloodseeker. There's Sandstorm, I guess, but refraction charges aren't super easy for Infamous to burn through. They'll have some lightning and some illusions and whatnot, but
if he's stunned, they disappear. But if he's speaking bead, he has that. That's like.
Oh, Earth Spirit jumped up to the high ground to try to deward. Will actually get out because the Sand King stayed up here with his Burrow Strike.
Yeah.
So that was close to being really bad. Roshan is up, and much like what we saw before, this is going to be where the game is going to revolve.
See if they can get a good initiation. Matthew has been on point with his Earth Spirit, I think.
Oh, they find the Bloodseeker. Jump in, silence. Doom goes out onto someone. It's the Omni Knight. That means the TA can actually rip everyone apart without worrying about that GA. He's getting to work, but the Epicenter comes in, does quite a bit of damage here. Infamous Young still alive as the Omni Knight is going to die and buy out. Benya is doing a lot of damage to King RG. He will also die. Will he buy back in return as well? They do have the bleed. Onto HFN, it is going to be kind of countered by that meld. They do lift her up, try to stun her up for a little while longer. Bloodseeker is going to return refraction charges. Not quite going to hold. There's way too many things attacking her. She'll be purified to death. And now the Sand King looking for that Doom. Long range Burrow Strike. They see the Doom. Not much attack speed here on the Sand King, but you know what? The Bloodseeker has enough attack speed for him as well. With the TA and Doom only having buyback, it is going to cost them an Omni Knight buyout. But so worth it, as that Epicenter, man. It looks like Dominic stepped up his game from the last game in a big way.
Really good face by him. Also a clutch buyback. Even though it didn't have insane impact, it's just he didn't have to use anything because the buyback kind of scares DC.SA. Because if they overcommit, then they will get team wiped, and then they decide we have to run, otherwise he will counter everything. But they still lose more people. And I think there's kind of secure racks because Bloodseeker has this nice talent that makes his Blood Rite cooldown 5 seconds, and you can't ever go on him.
Well, he only has 200 mana left, so may have a low cooldown, but he only has so many left in his arsenal. Still will be racks cleaned out, and everyone else will make a nice and safe retreat. Now 10k lead for the Infamous Heroes, as DC.SA are on the ropes here. This is not exactly a great look for them. The TA is starting to build some pretty serious damage, and she still has pretty serious damage. But again, it does seem like she's the only one who's really doing anything, and as long as Benya is as stacked as he is, as long as this Bloodseeker is getting his farm mode, good spin, checking yourself against the Pearl Boulder of the Doom, something that's not exactly ideal in this late game stage, but beggars choosers.
So Rubik stole Psionic Trap, which is actually an insane steal to have up for a part of the game. So you can just put them out on scout, and also like just having it is pretty big. He should have it in a few more plays. I think it's being a bit bad on using it right now, but it's such a big deal. They should reward this trap in the pit, because this is not good actually. This could be a big goal.
The stun is off the mark. Chain Frost gonna bounce through, but the Aegis is gonna be claimed. She should be claimed by the Radiant as well, but already we see the Chain Frost damage has been done, dropping both these heroes down really low, but the healing ward gonna bring them back a lot of HP. Doom goes out onto the Omni Knight. He does not have a buyback, and he will be going down for sure now. Epicenter in though onto the Doom will make it a 1-for-1. as Sand King is none too healthy. They do see a pretty easy target in the Razor. Kick from Matthew is going to kick the Sand King away, get the kill, and then slip out of there. Razor's still pretty quick, but the Bloodseeker gotta go fast with the Flutter. Oh, he's gonna go faster though. There's a Burrow Strike. No, the Sand King, he had Burrow Strike, but he got purged or something, and now is gonna actually be aggroed by the TA, who's gonna get Omni Slash. Nice refraction charges, going to do nothing for her. She's dead for 2 minutes, and they actually found a tune again. Oh my god, the Haste Rune chase is on, but another one will have to give up right now. Razor, Earth, and Lich up against 4. Including a Cheese Juggernaut and an Aegis Bloodseeker still. I think DC.SA may have just lost this game.
I know, so close Hollow Knight to get everything off. He had survived that hit, he would have gotten the mech off and then just ultimated and survived everything. So it was pretty good fight for DC.SA, but it doesn't matter. They haven't even managed to take down the Aegis or the Cheese.
Frost with no creeps here, gonna do quite a bit of damage to the Bloodseeker, but he does have an Aegis, and the Cheese on the Juggernaut will be consumed as well. A tune just trying to focus down Benyaz, not doing all that much damage up against the Ice Armor with the minus damage stolen. Or Staff out on a tune. That does a lot of damage. Gotta be careful there. Kick back.
My god.
Careful, bro. You're playing with fire. But, I mean, the damage has kind of already been done. They may survive with the Razor, but still it's a full minute before TA is up. And in that minute, at least these tier 4s are going to go down. Already Megas have been claimed. Kick stun onto a couple. Nice Burrow Strike again by Dominic, lining him up. They're going to be able to silence onto 2 with that Blood Right, having such a low cooldown. They're just focusing on what matters, on these objectives. The Razor's trying to chase down the cat, is going to get it, but lose a lot of HP for Tekka now in the middle of the fight, does not have his ultimate, and they finally get the GA out. That's going to kill off a couple of heroes. The Lich and Razor are going to hit the grave. Again, the Crimson doing what it can. Matthew's landing some pretty nice value stuns, but finally gets lifted out of that rollout. And with the Plasma Field, he will go down to the Sandstorm of all things. GG is called, and DC.SA end up losing the 3rd game and are therefore out.
The moral of the story is that you do not arrive 50 minutes late to an official game.
Yeah, they would have had another chance. Infamous Young only had to win 1 game, in case you guys missed it. DC.SA had to forfeit game 1 because they showed up so late. And Infamous Young, we saw flashes of it in game, I guess technically game 1, the first game that they played. Saw a little bit more of it here. They are, you know, maybe not the Infamous proper team, but man, they can play when they need to.
Yeah, they had some impressive showing. I think Doom needs a buff. He needs a reduction talent. Honestly, I felt like that was a huge issue. Are you? Do you hear Juggernaut, or did you disconnect?
Well, the Doom either way was picked up really early, so you could just not pick up Doom next time.
Yeah,
I've solved Doom. Just don't pick him.
That's a pretty clutch performance, though. I think it looked rough for them at part, but they they didn't do insanely stupid things. They kept, like, Bloodseeker had a rough laning, you know, and then he picked up the Radiance, and the Radiance didn't instantly turn into something amazing either. Like, it slowly built up, and they got back into the game, which is impressive. Even more so than having some insane team fight where they wipe, and then when they had to struggle for it, and they deserved to win that game.
For sure. Shout out to the Sand King as well. After a really rough Slardar game in that first game that they played, turned up his game to 11 and landed so many Burrow Strikes when it actually mattered. Not to mention the late game Epicenters, which, I mean, does damage, obviously, but also is just more things, more burst to throw in towards that TA in order to kill her off in a hurry. But guys, now's where the awkward part comes in. I'm going to take a quick check at what's actually going on. Taka versus Infamous proper is actually already started, and we're supposed to be in that one. Can I show you in the watch tab? It's somewhere here, I'm sure. Did they start the game yet? Oh my god. Okay, there's a lobby. Guys, we're gonna try to get into this lobby ASAP, so we're leaving. We're gonna be right back. Don't go anywhere.